Hello, my name is Divesh Srinivram, and I'm part of the English Geo group. And today I'll be talking about assignment assessment 3, sorry, which is an oral presentation about the Whale Rider. So, just a brief overview of the Whale Rider. The Whale Rider is about the Maori culture. It depicts Paikea, a 12-year-old girl who experiences male Maori patriarchy, as for she longs for attention from her grandfather and her grandfather's approval, as she shows immense leadership qualities, and she believes that she can be the next chief to lead her people. But her grandfather thinks otherwise because of his patriarchal views that he has. So, just to start off, the first aspect that I'd like to discuss is the first aspect of the presentation that I'd like to talk about is depiction of Maori culture in the Whale Rider. Some ways the Maori culture is depicted in the Whale Rider is through traditional ceremonies that are shown, through through lessons that through lessons through leadership lessons, instructional lessons, and Maori patriarchy, and connections of the Maori people to nature. One way in which one way in which Maori culture is depicted in the movie is through the actions of Koro. Koro represents traditional Maori culture. He represents Maori patriarchy. Koro he's the chief of the community, and he denies Paikea, his granddaughter, the opportunity to become chief, even though she emits leadership qualities. For example, one scene that is quite that shows Koro's patriarchal views is when Koro is explaining to Pai about her ancestors using a rope, and then as Koro ties the rope to his boat engine and tries to get it started, the rope breaks. As Koro goes to get another rope, Pai ties the rope and then starts the engine, and Koro gets angry on Pai, telling her that she should not do this as it is dangerous. See, in this scene, it can be said that he sees Pai as uh, as a female. He does not believe that Pai should be doing all these things. So male patriarchy comes in over here, I think. And then other ways that the culture is depicted is through traditional ceremonies that are shown in the movie. For example, burning of the umbilical cord, and then this is done to this is done because the Maori people believe that the child will be once the umbilical cord is buried, the child will be related to the land and will finally come to live where they belong. And then another depiction is through the lessons that are shown in the Maori culture. For example, Koro teaching the males of the young boys in the village about Maori views, Maori values, and the way Maori values, the way things in the Maori culture are done. For example, fighting using the taihea, I think, is that how it's pronounced, the taihea? Yeah, to fight. This is a traditional way of fighting using stick in Maori culture. And then another depiction is the closeness of the Maori community to nature. The Maoris believe that animals, trees, or any form of nature are spiritually related to specific people in the Maori community. For example, when a good example is there when their ancestor Paikea got wrecked at sea, and then he rode a whale who got him to safety. So similarly, Pai feels he is connected to a whale like her ancestor Paikea. So I think basically that's all the things that I can say that have been covered in that shows the Maori culture in the Whale Rider. And then the next thing I'd like to talk about is the theme of patriarchy. Patriarchy is a system where men hold power over the women of society, and they believe that women are generally removed from it. In the Whale Rider, we can see there is a lot of patriarchal views. Koro is the main character who emits these patriarchal views. He believes that leadership should be passed down to only the males and not the females. Even though Pai emits immense leadership qualities. He believes that Pi has split the male line, in this group because the firstborn baby should have been a boy according to their custom. So Koro refuses to reconcile with his views. So he thinks that Pi is not suitable since he is a girl to become a chief, even though Pi is much more. You can say that Pi is more suited to becoming chief, as she is much better than the boys that Koro is teaching for one of them to become the chiefs, and she is able to do much better than the boys. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the comparison of Maori culture with my own culture. Maori culture is very clearly shown in the Whale Rider, and then I think there's a lot of similarities with my culture. Me being from a Hindu background, I think that traditional ceremonies are of similar sorts. For example, ceremonies regarding the birth of a child. For the Maoris, they have the burning of the umbilical cords. For my culture, we have the Mundan ceremony and applying kohl ceremony. The kohl is a black substance that is applied to the eyes, and this is done by the paternal aunt. So, I think that's the similarities that I can think about. And one difference I feel is regarding patriarchy. In the Hindu culture in Fiji, I don't think that patriarchy is quite evident now. With women empowerment and the advancement of society, girls in Fiji have been enabled to pursue their dreams. And I'm not saying that patriarchy is totally finished, but I think that girls in the Hindu culture are getting a lot more opportunities to work rather than when compared to the Maori culture. The next thing that I'd like to talk about is gender and leadership. So, looking at the final scene, I think that Paikia's speech is really moving and empowering, as it shows that she longs for her grandfather's attention, even though her grandfather is against her in so many ways. He doesn't accept her to be chief and so on. Pai, all she wants is her grandfather's approval, that she wants to make him proud. And then the theme of gender, the theme of leadership, hope, and determination is all shown through Pai. Pai, even though being a girl, works immensely hard, learns all the Maori ways and customs, example fighting using a tahea, and then the Maori songs, dances, and all aspects of Maori culture. And she's quite good in the ways of the Maori people, and then therefore I believe that she is the true chief to lead their people. And then she is a very determined person, and she is very determined to lead her to achieve greatness. So I think that this is an important characteristic of Pai, of her determination, her hope, her will, and I think that this is what ultimately leads to her winning her grandfather's heart. And then in the final scene, the determination of Pai is shown when she gets the whales who've been beached to safety. She rides the biggest whale, and then she leads the rest of the whales to safety. And I think this is one of the best scenes that I've seen out of any movie that shows women empowerment, women determination, and it shows that it does not matter whether you being a male or female, and that if you have the will, the determination, you can do whatever you want. So just the last thing that I'd like to talk about is other modern day cultures with similar rules of ancestry and male leadership. Good example I'd say is the US of A. When in the last elections, when Donald Trump went up against Hillary Clinton, I think most of the people would have preferred Hillary Clinton, but the main reason that she did not get elected, I think, is that she's a female, and then this shows that people believed in the US that a male leader should lead the country, not a female leader, no matter how competent she is. So even most Arab countries have this when it comes to leadership. They believe that women are not fit to be leaders, and I think this is one thing that needs to change, and women should be given equal opportunities as men. To conclude, The Whale Rider is an excellent movie that showcases women empowerment through Pi in a quest to fulfill her destiny and become the chief of her people. And I think she will, and I think she has all the qualities of honor, determination, and integrity to lead a people. I think The Whale Rider is revolutionary as it highlights male patriarchy and compels the audience to think about women empowerment. Pi is a great leader and an excellent role model for all girls around the world who have gone through similar circumstances. So I hope you have learned something from this presentation. Thank you.